Good evening, good evening, good evening. It's your boy Flex Washington, and I'm here in a verbal op-ed of sorts to talk about what we just seen 20 hours ago. Trinity Fatu, aka Naomi, winning the Women's World Championship. And I just wanted to discuss about the feelings that I personally had and the feelings that I can kind of generalize about women's wrestling and specifically black women in wrestling. When I was at the State Farm Arena yesterday, it was livid, it was wild, it was emotional, it was everything that a wrestling fan wants in an environment. And there's no secret about this. I am a black man and I always root for the black wrestlers just because of the history of things. We never really got too many shots, but especially black women getting shots. We have legends like Jazz and Jacqueline, Queen Charmel being a manager, and Awesome Kong and TNA, and Sapphire as Dusty Rhodes, manager. You know, they didn't really get the opportunities that the current ones get, like, Trinity obviously winning championship and Jade winning it and eventually in SummerSlam winning it. And Bianca, holding that torch for the last couple of years. Athena is the ROH Forever champion. Tasha Steeles is in TNA. And, Will Nightingale is going to be doing big things in AEW. And, you just want to continue to see black excellence, black girl magic continue because a lot of times they were overlooked. These women were overlooked, and specifically Naomi in this case. In May of 2022, the infamous walkout with her and Mercedes leaving WWE because of creative, differences. I talked about it on another, little pod that the 4TL Wrestling did that they were given nothing. They were giving literal nothing. They were the tag team champions. The creative failed them. And I personally think that they undervalued these women. Mercedes Monet and Trinity Fatu were undervalued. And it was a disgusting time while I was watching it because how can you fumble two generational wrestlers? They are going to go down in the record books 50 years from now. We're going to talk about Trinity Fatu and Mercedes Monet as two of the greatest wrestlers of all time and entertainers and just bigger than life. And when you end up buying into what they are going to give you, these black women, they're going to make magic. The black girl magic is not just a phrase that they use. It is a literal thing that comes day in and day out. Black women know how to handle the trials and tribulations of this world and make it better. They just make magic out of sometimes, terrible things. So, you know, I'm still emotional about it. Rewatching videos and watching other YouTubers and other personalities reactions to Naomi cashing in. Obviously, it was a big night for women wrestling, and hats off to all the women that were in the card and all the women that were in attendance and all the women that were in the back that was the creative and the control of this evolution too. But black women that night did great things. Bianca was the special referee for Naomi versus Jade, which was a great no holds bar match. But as I continue to say, eventually these women are going to age out in 10, 15, 20 years. We'll see. They can go for 15, 20 years. I can already tell they're going to go for the long haul. And it's just so lovely to see black women the younger stage, the young talent coming up, like a Lash Legend, like a Jada Parker, like a Kalania, Sol Ruka, a Renegades twin, which many people know about the Renegades twins. They are going to be a problem. And I'm just so excited to have the current flag bearers of Black women's wrestling, and eventually they hand off that flag to the next generation, and then the next generation is going to pass it off to the following, and so on and so forth, so that there will be no more of overlooking Black women in wrestling. There's going to be, you know, a sense of, we deserve to be here and we deserve to main event all of your promotions, and we deserve to even own our own promotion. I Say Wrestling, shout out to y'all having the all Black wrestling promotion. So I just wanted to conclude this by saying, Naomi, Trinity Fatu, thank you, because you are a role model indeed for the Black women in the back and run in the WWE and AEW and TNA and ROH, and Black women in New Japan that we don't even know about yet, and in all of the little indie promotions as well. It was a beautiful time in Atlanta, Georgia, one of the Black meccas of the world. And when she cashed in, it just felt like time stopped and we just seen greatness. So thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for Mercedes Moné, who did a hell of a job at AEW All In. Unfortunately, she did not get the dub, but Mercedes Moné is going to keep going. And there's no doubt in my mind that, love you, Toni Storm, but that belt is going to be on the CEO's waist, shoulder, wherever she wants to put it in. She's going to have that title. And for all the people that want to talk about, well, she has too much creative control and she's doing too much and blah, 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 blah. There was a time when the creative tried to give her nothing. I'm sorry. Even if she does have creative control, who are you to say she shouldn't? She makes the money. She brings the fans in. She does what she does. And she doesn't just talk the talk. She damn sure walks the walk. Those titles are not just for play. Those titles are a symbol of her excellence. Each title is a match that she put her all into. Mercedes Moné never shortchanges any match that she's in. So for all you people that don't like that, Kid rocks. And we going to keep watching, and we just going to keep loving these Black women wrestlers, because when I'm old and gray and I remember this day of July 14th, 2025, I'm going to remember back to the fact that Naomi pulled off the heist of the century. Sorry, Seth. There's a new heist of the century. And that person that did it is Trinity Fatu, a.k.a. Naomi. So I just want to sign off. Black women's wrestling forever. 4TL of wrestling forever. Peace.